and they don't really like me. Cause I can fuck your bitch and fuck your mom and auntie.
This ordinary building in the heart of Montreal is home to a mysterious game studio that, out of nowhere, became the world's largest platform of adult games. From a struggling game studio, they outgrew Steam in player numbers shockingly fast. Too fast. Ironically, their games pop up on Steam, famous YouTubers promote them, and yet no one knows who they really are. Officially, they go by Nutaku, or the steamy steam that wants to revolutionize the games industry one hand at a time. So they say. But as a marketer myself, their instant success did raise my eyebrows. I asked for interviews, but was denied every single time. And so I kept digging to uncover their three-part strategy to success, why they're so secretive, and who's really pulling the strings behind these closed doors. Exploring the world of Nutaku wasn't just an eye-opener, it was an eye-popper. Ooh. The things I saw, I wish I could unsee them. But hey, I learned a ton about their strategies that you really want to stick around for, because before their rapid growth, they too were just another little small struggling game studio trying to survive in an industry where less than 1% of games find success. You know what I'm talking about. And so, as Super Hippo Studios, they released a couple of titles which didn't really click with players. One of their tower defense games managed to be on the App Store's front page, but it lost against Plants vs. Zombies 2, which launched just the same week. It's tough for any new game studio to stand out these days, and many give up, and they too were about to throw in the towel. But then, out of the blue, they decided to shift to an industry that's not any less challenging, but definitely less crowded. Adult games. Lucrative, untapped potential, and in dire need of quality gameplay. And so Super Hippo Studios rebranded as Nutaku to capitalize on this untapped market. A no-brainer, as we all know, sells. In fact, adult games have been around since the 70s with the likes of Lego Superhero and soft porn adventures on DOS. But then Nintendo in the 90s made gaming all about kids. How could they? And so sex and violence in games sparked overreactions, and the ratings board was introduced. With the kiss of death label, adults only. Any game with this label just sells less copies. And just like that, Western adult games went quiet.
I'm sure this was rare as fuck.
Now game makers try to sneak in love by tiptoeing around that label. Alien romance options, CJ in a secret minigame, skippable scenes in The Witcher, and Cyberpunk. No idea how they managed to dodge the adults-only label with a mere 17+ rating. Nutaku, however, has a leg up. No tiptoeing required. With over 500 games, both free-to-play and paid, they even attracted a fast-growing female audience that proudly brags about their pet interruptions. That's not your everyday game stat, is it? But hey, they're so profitable now, they even help struggling game developers who didn't make it in the traditional games market. They take their games that didn't make it on Steam and adultify them. That's a huge part of their core business. Crush, for instance, developed by Sad Panda, didn't really take off on Steam. So Nutaku funded some, enhancements, and the game is now a hit on Nutaku. Their company motto clearly states that they don't gamify porn, but adultify great games. A trend that's been taken off on Steam too, judging by these charts. And so it seems that Nutaku's company mission is working, democratizing adult games one hand at a time. But that's not easy when there's a big stigma around adult games. They're considered cheap, low-quality porn with bad to no gameplay.
It is a lot of
Even Mr. Nintendo chimed in with a pointed critique about their bad game design. And when Fall Guys ran a campaign inviting brands to create costumes through bidding, Nutaku offered $100,000 for the design. But Fall Guys' response, "You are yeeted, not safe for work." So breaking the stigma is tough, even if there's huge demand for it. Among the top searches on Pornhub, game characters rule. Fortnite, Overwatch, Minecraft.
Fortnite and Overwatch porn be going crazy too.
Chun-Li, Tifa.
Porn.
And Sonic the Hedgehog. In any case, you see, there's a gap between public perception and private consumption. A gap that Nutaku really wanted to bridge. But how do you bridge this gap if you're just a struggling game studio in dire need to survive? In order to survive, you've got to figure out what your audience wants but isn't getting. In Nutaku's case, that was the anime fans, big lovers of Japanese culture and gaming, but overlooked in the West. And what's the common denominator of anime porn in Japan? Exactly, hentai. Visual novels with explicit content, a style of Japanese erotic art that centuries old and usually featured octopus tentacles to work around censorship. And still today, hentai is the most searched for term on, hubs, a clear goldmine for Nutaku. But rather than starting from scratch, they just turned to the east and teamed up with a big Japanese game developer who got it all figured out, DMM. Nutaku said, "Hey DMM, let me take your games and we localize them for the Western market." That's a smart move. Take existing game, localize it, sell it in the West. You think that's it? Cash cow found. But with that, they faced a huge challenge because hentai has a really bad reputation in the West. Underage themes, misogyny, acts of violence, and many, many other things. But Nutaku said, nope, we'll stick to the genre, but we'll put gameplay first and erotic second, and offer all sorts of genres for every sort of orientation. And that's why their website has everything to offer, from visual novels, puzzle and card games, to strategy, RPG, and even FPS. Games with rich storytelling. As you progress, you unlock more and more skin. Or you can also jump right into the fun part and check out gay, trans, or whatever that is.
Yo, what the fuck?
No one's left behind. A smart strategic move. Inclusivity and good gameplay. Such good gameplay, even PewDiePie became a very special CEO.
Go to the map and visit one of the games. Oof.
I remember this game.
I don't know if I'm ready for that. I'll definitely buy it.
They be trying to fucking
That's a
take
whole
your money though
level
with this
of
shit.
corporate performance reviews, don't you think? In any case, just like that, Nutaku was able to double their female audience and drew in 1 million players in their first year alone. Survival phase nailed. But something was off. In just a year, they secured $1 million investments and appeared in top publications. That's only possible if you have a really strong PR team and deep pockets. Otherwise, for Nutaku, this next strategic stage wouldn't have been as wild as it got. So, what's the first thing you do when you've got cash and you want to grow? And you have a good PR team? Exactly. You launch viral campaigns. And what better place to start than in men's and women's bathrooms? Yep, that's what happened. Sponsored ads in toilet rooms at an industry event to recruit game developers.
Wow.
One for men and one for women.
That's crazy.
That's some pretty aggressive on-site marketing for a small studio that just got started. Anyways, the marketing continued with a New York art exhibition titled Hentai is Art, all to build the brand and get Western consumers a bit more comfortable with the concept. To get them even more comfortable, Nutaku came up with yet another expensive but clever campaign. Now I, Nutaku.
It's got more naked bodies than I've ever seen.
I doubt that. With over 500 games, Nutaku has the largest, hottest selection. You can play for free and even sort them depending on what you're into. Do you, Nutaku?
I don't Nutaku, but I'm sure this lady does.
I love incest. I think that as long as you don't have babies, incest should be legal.
She was fucking wild!
Or this one. Both Pornhub ambassadors. Nutaku managed to feature porn celebrities in their games. One in Fab CEO and another one in Booty Calls. But if that's not enough to pull in millions of players, why not try Nutaku's hentai hot sauce, an aphrodisiac for gamers to get them all fired up? And boy, did the community get all fired up. Hey, if that's not enough, why not launch a Nutaku-themed adult gamer chair with all the bells and whistles so you can get the full experience out of their games? Okay, I have to admit, that was just a marketing gimmick by Nutaku, but their real, actual gamer chair did sell out in less than 48 hours.
Wow.
Just like their Boop console. It's
remember
Windows-based,
that, but I thought this was a
silicon-covered,
April
and
Fool's
comes
joke.
preloaded with 200 free-to-play premium game titles. But if that's not
I
enough,
thought this was an
why
April
not enter a
Fool's joke,
prize
though.
pool of $10,000 for the best video that shows people playing Nutaku games while actually playing with themselves? Yes, that's
Wow.
Nutaku's prime example of a marketing campaign. But it doesn't stop there. Marketing has no limits, you must know. And so why not launch Nutaku's first ever Loot Gaming Championship with a prize pool of $25,000? Again, all this costs. And there's no public information out there on who is funding Nutaku. But I've got you covered. Stick around, because it does get stickier, especially on their Discord channel. That's the glue that holds the entire marketing strategy together. I mean, Discord for game companies is standard, but their channel, it's
think
not
I'm in
just
their Discord.
active, it's on another level of active. In any case, with good gameplay, developers by your side, a crazy marketing
trying to
strategy,
get a sponsorship
expensive
from them
ad
a long time
campaigns, and an active Discord community, you've not only grown, but generated a powerhouse of Western hentai gaming. Growth stage? Nailed. And now, Nutaku is raking in cash, featured in major publications, and their investment funds grow every single year. What's missing? Cutting-edge technology, that's what. In 2018, Nutaku added cryptocurrency as a payment option as there was growing demand for privacy in digital transactions, particularly in the porn industry. But again, for a growing company implementing this payment infrastructure this quickly suggests some powerful help behind the scenes. I mean, Nutaku seemed to have a knack for marketing, PR, and monetization right from the get-go. And so the question remains, who's really powering Nutaku's meteoric rise? The truth is, there's a much darker force behind the scenes. And so let me tell you that behind these closed doors isn't just Nutaku pulling the strings, but one of the biggest titans of the porn industry, MindGeek, the shadowy corporation that owns pretty much every adult site out there, from YouPorn, Pornhub, Brazzers, Mofos, you
I
name
remember
it.
hearing about MindGeek
They own
in the fucking
Nutaku
Pornhub
too.
documentary.
You might have heard of MindGeek
crazy, they
before,
own
but not
Nutaku
in a
too.
good
That's-
way.
they-
The
these
Netflix
niggas,
documentary Money
they got
Shot
the portion
uncovered
locked.
MindGeek's complicity in allowing all sorts of illegal content, from rape videos to child pornography and sex trafficking. It was a massive scandal that even led to angry mobs burning down the $19 million mansion of Pornhub CEO Faraz Antoon. After this, he stepped down as Pornhub CEO, but didn't disappear into the dark. No. Instead, he became MindGeek's CEO. And guess what? This CEO has a brother, who's none other but
Bigger.
President of Nutaku himself, Mark Antoon. Yes, it's a real family affair over there at MindGeek.
No way.
So while Nutaku was
Nigga,
busy
this porn
marketing
shit is a
itself
family
as this fun,
business.
innocent gaming site that wants to
Wow.
revolutionize the games industry one hand at a time, behind the scenes, it was all part of MindGeek's desperate attempt to rebrand and diversify in the wake of their public shaming. All those aggressive marketing campaigns, top-tier PR, cutting-edge payment options, millions in investment funds, all these are MindGeek's influence at work. Their in-house company, Traffic Junkie, which is, by the way, in the same building, helped Nutaku to blast their ads all over the internet and reach millions of players. You see, Nutaku's Cinderella success story was no fluke. It was orchestrated, a strategic move to polish MindGeek's image, a classic case of corporate rebranding. But that's only half the story. It gets way darker, because MindGeek, loves data. Every time MindGeeks hires a new person, they tell them that they'll take big data to the next level. Data is, after all, far better than cash in the bank for any digital company. And what better way to collect that data than through a
why a lot of
gaming
niggas be
platform like
stealing data.
Nutaku? Their
That's
games
fucking
are designed to collect
worth a lot of money.
user behavior. Any puzzle, clicker, or strategy game has an inbuilt decision-making gameplay that tells them more about you than you know about yourself. What was shocking to me was that Nutaku's privacy policy outright reserves the right to collect information on pretty much everything you do on their site. From customization of content to advertising and analytics, Nutaku can send your data to anyone without restrictions. After all, MindGeek is just a
like every
web
fucking body
development
else.
company. Porn is merely a strategy for collecting user data. And so I wasn't surprised to learn that MindGeek is actually rebranding itself now to ILO, a rebrand that comes in response to the need for a fresh start. And so Nutaku may be the Cinderella success story in adult gaming, but MindGeek is pulling the strings behind the scenes. That's often how it goes in the world of business. The most impressive success stories are rarely as simple as they seem on the surface. Interestingly enough, on their LinkedIn page, Nutaku never explicitly reveals what they do or provide. I guess it's not exactly something you want to broadcast to the professional world, you know? And maybe that's the real lesson here. In the dog-eat-dog world of digital business, sometimes it's not just about having the best product or the flashiest marketing campaign. No, sometimes it's really just about who you know. Happy ending.
It was a good video.